Good morning, traders, and welcome to Phoenix Blue's morning update for Thursday, the 31st of March 2016. My name is Nishil Patel, and I'm going to take you through a quick snapshot of today's trading. First things first, I hope you're all well and you're ready for the opportunities that are going to be presenting themselves. If I'm honest, many of you should sideline yourselves, just like many traders have done. It has been a turbulent week, as expected, as we discussed on our previous videos. There is a lot happening, a lot has happened since investor confidence is changing by the minute. So a word of caution in terms of your trades. Let's not forget that it is NFP week. We have a lot of data coming out, and that's what I'm going to discuss in a brief moment. First things first, over to our charts. So first things first, what we're going to do is we're going to start off looking at a few indexes. Here's the UK Blue Chip Index, the FTSE 100. What we can see is it's floating in and around at 61.58 right now. From yesterday's highs, obviously, very much all of the indexes yesterday did pick up, and we saw gains across Wall Street and the American indexes, and that had a knock-on effect to the Asian ones, and they're also up. But obviously, risk appetite has increased from investors. We saw highs of 62.17 being achieved yesterday on the FTSE, and quickly moving over to the S&P 500, so we just so we can see exactly what happened. And again, on this daily time frame here, we can see highs of 2073.2. Most certainly staying in and above this level of support resistance that we've highlighted previously, and so we can definitely say risk appetite has increased. Let's not forget that investor risk appetite really has increased just since Yellen has spoke on Tuesday, and she was talking about how the central bank should really proceed quite cautiously in terms of rate hikes, and that is contrary to what a few of her other colleagues have suggested, that another movement or a hike may be around the corner. So that's increasing risk appetite. And in fact, what we're going to do is, if we just have a look at a particular index, I'm just going to take you over to the VIX, which is a volatility measurement, which really can be found on, if I show you, in fact, if we just move over to here, like so. So this is a CBOE's website. This is where you can see VIX, or often called Wall Street Fear Gauge. It really is it's a market volatility index, which really shows sentiment within the marketplace. The lower it is, the better. It was 1.9% down, so this is the lowest it's been since August last year, and it really shows us that confidence is definitely in the marketplace, and investors are willing to take risks, and that's obviously had an effect on our indexes across the board, and in turn, if we just move over to, in fact, if we just have a look at gold right now. So here's gold. What we can see is, I'm just moving over here to a daily time frame. What we can see is it's moving in and around an area of floating at 1230 currently at today's level. What's important here is risk appetite, and also what we can see in terms of our chart. Now, technically, what I can most certainly see is it's forming into a symmetrical triangle. And no, everyone that knows about symmetrical triangles knows that it can effectively break out either way. You could break out long or short. Remember, looking at our charts and figuring out exactly what's going to happen is important to us. Now, with risk appetite up, and investor confidence pushing, we should most certainly see this potentially drop short in the near term. But what's important right now is this dollar weakness and how it's affecting the marketplace. We've obviously seen its toll on the indexes, and the indexes rallying, in particularly out in America and in Asia. To our charts, moving over quickly onto the euro. Now, the euro really has taken some gains. and obviously off the back of what was called, we're going to see some adverse movement in terms of what we were thinking. Obviously, we were thinking a dollar appreciation, but from Yellen's speech on Tuesday, it has really given appetite back for the investors, and the dollar is actually falling. Where we've really seen huge gains, or anyone that would have seen the biggest gains, would have been on the Aussie or Kiwi. It has significantly rallied, and it's significantly rallied onto positions that people would have been in. So if anyone's on the back of that, very well done indeed. Moving on forward, what I'm going to do is, what's really important right now is discussing what is happening with the announcements. Now, we have key announcements today, obviously. We've got GDP coming out on the Canadian dollar, but most importantly, unemployment claims coming out at 1:30 GMT. Now, that's obviously going to be that's obviously preempted always in NFP week, that the Wednesday, Thursday. We've got big announcements coming out. Obviously, tailing on into tomorrow, we've got the big one at 1:30 GMT on non-farm employment change. That's really going to be big. Now, for those novice traders out there, I would urge you to stay out this week. It really is. It's really not going to be an easy environment to trade in. So please take the side of caution and don't trade. Going on to an announcement that came out yesterday on crude oil inventories. We'll just have a quick look at that right now and just have a quick talk about that. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring up the crude chart. So just having a quick look at this. Here's WTI. We can see WTI is floating at 37.77 after yesterday's initial rally, and we can see that here. You know, we had the initial inventories came out, and there were 2 million barrels, or just over 2 million barrels, higher than what was assumed. So it says, it basically tells us, or the IEA is basically telling us that inventories or stockpiles are brimming, and that's obviously taken a toll on WTI, as we can see. Off the initial rally from yesterday, coming up to highs at just below 40, or 39.9, we've really seen it take a heavy knock. That's obviously going to have a turn on a few currencies. Obviously, anyone looking to trade the Canadian dollar, they will see a rally on the Canadian dollar as well. So just leaving off with that, guys. Hopefully this has been informative for you. Until tomorrow, this is Nishil Patel signing off, and best of luck with your trading. Take care. Bye bye.